That's what's coming really fast, and they're almost done with it. And remember, I just told you the other day, by February of 2026, 2 months, Donald Trump wants 300,000 killer drones in the sky. Killer drones. And it's not for Venezuela, it's for us. It's for us. You need to be ready for this because this is absolutely here.
This is a channel called UAPSD, and he just rapid fires the UAP dragons at you like through a fire hose. Yep, look, it's got wings. It must be a bug. We're way beyond that now. So, this guy doesn't add any commentary to his videos. He just strings the clips together and shows you one after another, and he's filming in San Diego where they have all these military bases doing their practice runs flying, and he's got this vantage point up on a little hilltop where he's recording all the UAP dragons. And his channel's only about 8 months old. He's like a spin-off from Custodian Files. I think he first discovered about these things from Custodian Files, who leaves a comment in this video. I'll leave the link in the description. He's only got like 175 subscribers. He's only been making videos for like 8 months. But as you can see, he gets a lot of them. Most of his videos are just a minute or two. Other videos, he makes these compilations. Now again, we're watching military aircraft. Look, it's got wings. It's got to be a bug. It's even got a copper color to it. We're way beyond that. For those of us that have been keeping up with this, we know they're not bugs. Bugs don't do 2,000 miles an hour for all of the reasons that we've already established. These are not bugs. These are drones. Now, I don't know if they're killer drones, but I suspect they probably have some capabilities. There you can see two. There's a few spots in here where he shows 3 in one frame. These aren't bugs, and there's already far more than 300,000 surrounding us. So these are essentially flying in restricted airspace. That's like one of those airplanes that hovers with the vertical takeoff and landing ability. He's recording in military airspace, restricted airspace, a no-fly zone. So, either these are being used by the military, they're the ones controlling them, or they have no ability to do anything about it other than let them fly in their restricted airspace. There was another double where you could see 2 of them in the frame at the same time. There's a couple different times during this video where you see 3. I'll point it out when I notice it. There, that's a close-up. There's 2. That was another double. There's another double. And so this guy's got the world record DPM, dragons per minute. He just unleashes like a fire hose. And we all owe a debt of gratitude. There's another double. We all owe a debt of gratitude to Mr. Custodian Files, Dr. Robert Shipe, with his credibility as a doctor who created the first online pharmacy. Oh, that one's got wings too. It must be a bug. We've established long ago these things look, that one's copper colored as well. That's another thing we've already established. When you get these close-ups and the sun is reflecting at the right angle, they have a copper color appearance. Almost like the gold of a honeybee, but it's not a honeybee. So these are all around us, and I remember in that last video I made where I talked about how the day the earth stood still, when he who controls the dragons controls the world. Before I get off on that, I think it's an AI controlling all of these. These are not under the piloting of an individual person controlling an individual one of these UAP dragons, drones, whatever you want to call them. And in these, he gets all these close-ups. They appear very close to the camera. For some reason, where he's filming from, he's getting a lot of close-ups. These aren't off in the distance, a little tiny black speck. A lot of these are close enough, you can see what appears like wings on them. But we're way past that. If you still think they're bugs, you just need to do the research until you get to the point where you understand they're not bugs. I'm not going to contend with people who still want to argue that they're just bugs or birds. They're not. For those of us that know that, let's carry the conversation forward from that point forward and not continue to debate with those who are unaware and want to insist that they are bugs or birds. When you see something, a pattern your brain doesn't recognize, you assign it the label of the closest thing to that pattern. There's another double. There's a double going both directions, and then here's another double. Oh. There's a couple triples. One's coming up in about 6 minutes. That was a double. One in the distance, center screen, and one up close. That might have been a triple. As you can see, these are all military aircraft. These UAP Dragons are just swarming these military aircraft. Instead of doing a straight line, that one's curving all around, doing all sorts of circles and shit. That one's flying, almost like you might expect an insect to. But the other 99% of them are doing a straight line. I personally like the ones that curve and change directions. It's a little more rare. Usually all you see is the straight line. So the day is coming where these do have an effect. They're not just going to stand idly by, inconsequentially in the background, having no effect and making no difference in our daily lives. The day will come when these drones are made aware. Everyone's made aware of their presence. People are worried about the Optimus robot, the humanoid Optimus robot. I think this is a double or triple. There's two. They're literally just swarmed. There's three, and these are like a half second apart. Just filming this one helicopter, he pauses it 3 or 4 different times. That might have been a triple one. Then I think a couple more coming here. There's a triple. So it was a single followed by a triple. 4 of them within the same 1 second window, essentially. So these things are swarming this airbase. Either they're under the command and control of the military that runs the airbase, or the military is powerless to do anything about their presence. I made a video a while back, maybe I'll recap that here in a minute, where it appears that one of these dragons flew right into the side of a parked semi-truck and left a big old hole right in the side of it, and then turns around. This one kind of acts more like an insect too, just kind of floats around. That's at least a double. There's one on the right and one on the left. That's at least a double. Oh, there's a one in the foreground. That makes that a triple. Oh, and there's one there, making it a second triple. So people that don't know, they'll just insist these are bugs until they find out the hard way. Shock and awe. But one guy said in the comments of that last video I made, talking about the day the earth stands still and he who controls the dragons makes his presence known, and everyone is made aware that they're surrounded. Resistance is futile. You've already been assimilated. Fight, flight, or freeze. There are no options to fight or flight. Freeze, be still, and know that I am God is your best bet. And there's a fourth option, friend. Fight, flight, freeze, or befriend the perceived threat. There's another triple, at least, if not 4. And so this guy just unloads in the compilation, no commentary, rapid fire, dragon after dragon, unlike Custodian Files, who gives you a nice Mr. Rogers-esque type of explanation with that one you can see the wings clearly. A nice Mr. Rogers style delivery and explanation, 5 minutes of commentary with each dragon, and that's fine. There's another triple. But for those of us that are past that, and we don't need 5 minutes of commentary, this guy just unloads. That was a 1, 2, 3 punch. There's 1. Here comes 2. And there's number 3. And 4. And 5. This might be a replay. No, that was 6. That one did a U-turn. So one guy said in my last video where I talked about how the day is coming when these things are made known to the general public. And a guy in the comments section, he was as despondent and desensitized and discouraged as me. He said, no, I think hell will freeze over and the sun will explode and the plasma apocalypse and the polar reversal. will happen before these dragons, these UAP dragons, ever have any effect. This one kind of floats around like an insect, hovering, bobbing, and weaving. But it's not. And I get it. After a while, you just kind of resign to the idea that there'll never be any major change. But right now, there's so much change happening in our world. It's happening at breakneck speed, and you can't even keep up with it all. While at the same time, it's not happening fast enough because there's no change. There's no climax. It's Project Blue Balls. You never reach that climax. There is no change. But the day is coming where these things change very rapidly. So enjoy the current world as it currently exists while it still does, because it's a limited time offer while supplies last. And with that knowing that the change is coming, it's already done. Look at how people went back to their lives after C-19 and pretended like it never happened. The world we've known is already over. It's gone. We're the walking dead. We just don't know it yet. The world the world we always knew doesn't exist anymore. They're living in an imaginary fairy tale where trees don't burn on the inside. That's not possible. They live in a world of their own creation, of their own imagination, filtering out anything that doesn't fit into their preferred reality. And that's going to come to an end. Their free will is going to be impeded upon. They're not going to have the option of denial and deflection and and just pretending certain things that they don't like don't exist. They're going to be forced in a existential reckoning. They're going to be forced to reconcile with the reality of their existence.
This is kind of what I'm seeing here.
So he threw in a little clip of Custodian files, and in this video's comment section, Custodian files is there in the comment section. So I just thought I'd make this video show you guys this guy's got the fire hose of UAP dragons. He just unloads them one after another after another. And I thought it would be, because I just discovered this channel, so it's appropriate to tag it along with my last video I made when I talk about the day when these things are made known to the general public. And when he who controls the dragons controls the worlds, makes his demands. Wow, now that one, is that slow motion? I wish you would put the speed, if that was real time or slowed down. Now, here's a video from Third Phase Moon. Have I got the, I do have. Let's turn that off. I would say these are CGI if I didn't have my own video of something similar. But that's a helicopter on the upper left, and all these black dot craft appearing to float in front of it. And if I did, that's 11/18, November of 2025, just a little while ago. And if I didn't have my own video I took of something similar, I'd say that's just a regular video of a helicopter, and they use CGI to embed the little black dot craft that are hovering around in front of it. Come on, zoom us in a little closer. Give us the close-up again. Don't make me do the zoom. So there's more than one helicopter. There was one over there to the left, a little further behind. And then there's this one, hovering there, with all these things floating in front of it. When that happens worldwide, that's the day the earth stood still. And the old world comes to an end. So there's one helicopter up to the left. Now here's a second helicopter, nose to nose with the UAPs. The day is coming when the general public is made aware of this, and they will no longer have to consider Optimus robots or the robot dogs. These are all around you at all times. Like the snitches on Harry Potter. And that's a paradigm shift, a rude awakening. Some real cold water in the face of everyone that brings them Brings them into a new world and their old world is dead. Ego death. Here's an image from Harry Potter where he catches one of these snitches. The copper color, the wings, very much like what we're actually seeing flying around us. And when you know you're surrounded by thousands of these, then it's no longer about robot dogs or humanoid Optimus robots, when these are all around you. And like I said, I would just say those are probably CGI if I hadn't taken my own video, which I already covered this in my very last video, so I won't spend much time on it here. But you see in the upper right, that black dot? Just keep focused over there and you'll see a couple more appear next to it, floating in the sky. So when I saw that video of the helicopter appearing to be in a face-off with these little black dots floating in the sky, I no longer dismiss it as, those black dots are just embedded through CGI. I know these things exist around us. Right here. You'll see a couple more here in a sec, just below it. There's the couple more, almost a triangle formation between them. And here it appears that one of these UAP dragons flew right into the side of one of these semi-trucks and left a big old hole in it. And it has occurred to me recently that maybe someone was trying to use some sort of jamming technology that interfered with their ability to navigate. So this thing was still powered up, still throttled up, but it was out of control. So it flew down, hit the side of this semi-truck, and then took back off in the same direction that it came from.
The following event took place in Salinas, California on October 26, 2024, and it was captured by multiple security cameras at this lot. A man named Eric posted these videos showing an impact to one of their trucks, one of their diesel trucks. Now, they have stated that this is not a firework, but they don't know what it is. On the second video, you can hear the loud boom and the impact. On the final video, you can see what looks like a round object striking the truck. But where it came from, what it is, and who's doing it, all those questions are left unanswered. Take a look at this video and tell me what you think.
Salinas, California. Check this out. Someone in Salinas is shooting projectiles. Explosives. Check this out, fellas. This is not a firework. Whatever hit this, it even blew out the glass on this truck. That's nuts.
Whoa. That's crazy. What the heck was it?
So in the first video, you can hear the sound that Doug was referring to, the incoming whistling before the impact. And then on the second video angle, I'm going to show you, it appears that whatever it is has a rocket engine behind it. You can see flame behind it, and then after the impact, it turns around and goes up and to the left, back in the same direction it came from. First, listen to the sound one more time.
Whoa. Whoa. That's crazy. What the heck was it?
So here you can see it coming in just above the truck right here, and you can see a light behind it like a rocket engine. It's flaming, it appears. And then it turns around and goes back up to the left. One more time. Impact, and then it goes back up and to the left. I just wanted to make a follow-up video to this video I made the other day that shows this thing coming in and impacting the side of this truck, and say that I think it was most likely a UAP Dragon, DUI Dragon. And notice the side of the truck right there. The Dragon may not have actually hit the truck. It may actually be the force field around the Dragon. The electromagnetic field around the Dragon may be what actually struck the truck, and the small UAP Dragon itself never actually physically made contact. As it comes in, you can see a light behind it, almost like what you would think of as a rocket. And then as it goes out, the same way that it came in, you can see a light behind it again. There's a few reasons I'm going to go over here why I say I believe this was probably an out-of-control UAP Dragon, as opposed to some sort of rocket-propelled device. You can see it come in, you can hear it whistling as it comes in, you can see the inboard dash cam. Because A, when I point my camera to the sky, on any given day I can film 100 of these UAP Dragons. I can film 0 rocket-propelled devices. So just the numbers alone makes it far more likely that this is a UAP Dragon. And the reason it has a light out the back of it looking kind of like a rocket booster might actually be ionized gases. The electromagnetic propulsion system that it uses makes the gas in the air glow, whether it's the hydrogen or the nitrogen. Instead of a rocket booster, it may actually be like a halogen light bulb. When those gases are electrified, they glow. And so it also smokes a lot more on its way out. After it impacts, it's only smoking a little bit on its way in to the truck. It's smoking 10 times as much on its way out. Only smoking a little bit on its way in. Smoking a lot on its way out. Where did all that smoke come from? You impact something, it doesn't smoke just due to impact. That is part of the propulsion system, I believe. All that smoke that we're seeing is part of the propulsion system. And here I slow it down a bit. And you can see that on its way in, it's not smoking hardly at all. See, you can see a little tiny vapor trail behind it. On its way out, after it comes to a complete stop and then goes back up and to the left, that's when it smokes. And all of that smoke is coming from the propulsion system, not that pieces of the truck were burning or caught on fire. And the reason I believe that is because on the way in, it's already doing 500 miles an hour or however fast it's going. It's already up to speed. So there's not a lot of friction or pressure or opposing force. It's pretty much coasting on the way in. That's why it's barely leaving a tiny vapor trail. On the way out, it's going from 0 back up to 500 miles an hour, cranking up the throttle, creating a lot more friction and resistance and opposing force in order to get it from 0 back up to 500 miles an hour. It's like it's hitting the gas harder. That's why it's creating much more vapor. On the way in, hardly anything. On the way out, a giant cloud of vapor or smoke. And you can see the light looking like a rocket. As it comes in, you can see a light behind it, pushing it inwards towards the truck. On the way out, you can see a light behind it, pushing it outwards, back away from the truck in the opposite direction, like what we would think of as a rocket booster. But I think that was the propulsion system, and it's far more likely to be one of these highly advanced technological craft, like what we call a UAP Dragon, than some sort of rocket-propelled device like a giant bottle rocket. So these images of the snitch in Harry Potter are way too close to what we're actually seeing. A copper-colored body and wings that look semi-transparent. When we get a close-up of these UAP dragons, that's exactly what color they are. And earlier in the video, you saw at least 20 or 30 different examples where you can see what appears to be wings, which is what misleads most people to say, then it must be an insect, because I can see wings. There he harfs up a dragon. I guess I haven't seen Harry Potter in a while. Anyway, I guess that's the end of this, but I think they're showing us something there. Something that really exists, and we're all about to be made aware of them. And Custodian Files says those things that appear like wings are plasma jets. UAPSD, as in San Diego, the guy whose channel I featured at the first of this video, his link will be in the description. He's only got like 175 subscribers, but he's putting out good content. Let's go see if we can't double his subscriber account.